Alright, we're going to continue with some final things in facial blending that I want to show you. And that's, before we get to the eyes, and that's uh, removing some awkward things. So we weren't able to really fix this with the high frequency layer because these are, veins in the eyes. So I'm going to show you how to get rid of those real quick. We'll take this down to about 3%. And we can get in here and sort of blend away some of the redness in there by sampling the area around it and then painting over it. We're not painting over it because we're still underneath the texture layer, but we're just going to kind of blending the colors in there to remove this spot. You could be a little bit more harsh if it's not working on the lower level, but let's make that brush even smaller and let's do smaller, tinier edits and really just kind of lessen the intensity of that vein. People have veins in their eyes. It's a natural thing. If you remove all of it, it doesn't look natural at all. And so we just want to lessen the intensity of them. So we sample around and we just paint the surrounding areas of higher contrast, color contrast, to eliminate as much of the standoutishness of it. So it looks like she had a hair in the eye there. It's not too bad. Oh no, it's the shadow from her eyelashes are actually in her eye. I'd probably leave that actually. It's kind of nice. But some of this redness we can take away. Another way to take away some of the redness is to come over here to this red saturation that we've got, and just like with this brush, we can actually paint over it slightly. See how that looks, and we can take the saturation down to maybe 15%, and see what we've got here. See what we're doing. Nah, that's not what that was designed for. Put that back on -6, and then facial blending. We'll go back to that and just sample the areas and paint in there. Actually, we've got a black mask, so let's put the white on by clicking this little one, and then if you switch them, it's just black and white. Let's take white and let's paint that on. See what that does. It's not white, it's actually just these settings applied. So if we take that saturation down to, let's say, -20, eyes are not white. They're usually a shade of yellow. So that's why the hue on this red face saturation layer that I've created, we use it for two reasons. One, to get rid of the redness of the eyes and bring them more towards the shade of yellow that they are. And then we also use it to remove red spots on people with red blotches on the face. But if we paint in this area, it doesn't look like we're doing much, but watch what happens when let me turn that flow up to about 26 just to sort of illustrate the power of this. It is quite powerful. So let's get in there and paint it in, and then I'll show you what we can do with it. So we've painted in, and now we can actually take the saturation all the way out if we wanted to, but I'm not going to. Probably just leave it at. Here's what it looks like normally, but we can really, take that down to maybe -20%. Let's take that out. Let's look at the difference that makes. So we had that redness. Now we don't. Not so bad. When we stylize the photo, we can take it out even more. So we can go in here on this little area, and we can also paint. Remember, we still have this selected. We're on a flow of 25%, and we can take some of the redness out of this eye. lots of different ways to do it, but that's primarily the two features that I use: the facial blending, and then painting, and just sort of removing the areas of redness. This photo is not too bad actually. So let's sample that. I'll sample this little white area right here, and I'll bring this up, and I'm probably just going to try this real quick. See what we can do to whiten the eye. There we go. Let's go out. Let's yeah, that was a little bit too harsh, so I'll Shift Command F, and then what I'll do is I'll fade it. Oh, magical. I kind of like it. Ah, yeah. Much, much better. And actually, I can probably sample that color now. We sample this, and we come into the other portions of the eye, and we do the same thing, and we can probably just brighten up these areas really well. So let's see. And then Shift Command F, and I think that was 50. Right? Let's get down to 48. There you go. And we'll do the same thing over here. But remember, this one's in the shade, so we have to be careful. We'll have to do the big part first, and then Shift Command F. And we're going to take this one down even lower, probably around 25%. Let's go Command 0, and now let's look at what we did there. Look at those eyes. All right, and a much better job, I think. All right, so now we're going to do the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll do the eyes, the iris of the eyes.